good idea of how it got there. Most asteroids that approach Earth come from the main asteroid belt, an area where millions of the huge space rocks orbit the Sun between Mars and Jupiter. Asteroids in the belt between Mars and Jupiter generally stay there for billions of years. But sometimes an asteroid is bumped out of the belt by the gravitational pull of objects around it, from a collision, or even from the pressure of sunlight on its surface. When this happens, the asteroid's orbit becomes unstable, and it can begin to swing near Earth. Within a few million years, most near-Earth asteroids will do one of three things: crash into the Sun, get pushed out of the solar system, or crash into a planet, perhaps Earth. Thank you, atmosphere. The Earth is getting pummeled by small fragments of asteroids all the time, and most of the time, no one notices. That's because the atmosphere does a really good job protecting us. How does something so light and airy protect us? The atmosphere is a layer of gases around the planet, held in place by gravity. When an asteroid comes screaming through the atmosphere, the gases compress around it quickly, heating and incinerating the object. The atmosphere is like a giant laser, blasting apart anything that flies fast into it. While some larger objects can get through, they rarely cause much damage. Why? Because the Earth's surface is mostly covered by vast oceans. Asteroids that manage to make it through the atmosphere will most likely hit water. Scientists think the Chelyabinsk asteroid originated during the birth of the solar system some 4.6 billion years ago in the main belt. About 1 million years ago, a chunk of rock broke off or spun off from a larger asteroid. Orbiting objects move very fast, so the huge rock hurtled toward our planet at 40,000 miles per hour, 64,374 kilometers, about 50 times the speed of sound. When the asteroid slammed into our atmosphere in 2013, friction slowed and heated the rock until its outer surface began to melt and vaporize. At about 25 miles, 40 kilometers above the Earth, large chunks began cracking off. The pressure grew and grew as the asteroid hurtled toward the ground until it exploded in a blinding flash, pushing a shock wave more powerful than 30 atomic bombs toward the city. Though the Chelyabinsk asteroid was relatively small and the atmosphere prevented it from hitting the Earth intact, the extent of the damage was frightening. The blast injured more than 1,500 people, mostly by knocking them to the ground or cutting them with flying debris, as happened to fourth-grade teacher Yulia Karbasheva. Pressure from the shock wave damaged more than 7,000 buildings, including 360 schools. Destruction stretched 60 miles, 100 kilometers out from the city. Luckily, the asteroid wasn't bigger, or made of something really hard and strong like iron. Luckily, the asteroid broke apart in the atmosphere before the massive rock could smash into the city. Luckily, no one died. We may not be so lucky the next time. Many more asteroids approach Earth than you might imagine. Every minute of every day, the Earth is pummeled by rocks and particles from space. 100 tons of space rocks daily. That's the equivalent of 100 pickup truck loads. Usually the rocks are space dust, no bigger than grains of sand that are obliterated in a bright flash of light when they hit the atmosphere. We call these streaks of light falling stars. Scientists call them meteors. But many asteroids careening through our solar system are much bigger and have the potential to cause much more damage. Astronomers estimate that the asteroid belt alone holds more than 200 asteroids at least 60 miles, 100 kilometers wide. More than 750,000 are a half mile, 800 meters across or wider. Smaller asteroids, like the one that struck Chelyabinsk, number in the millions. About once a year, a car-sized asteroid strikes the Earth. Most of these blow up in the atmosphere, like Chelyabinsk, without causing much damage. But roughly every 5,000 years, the Earth is struck by an asteroid as big as a football field. And every few million years, an asteroid large enough to trigger global disasters strikes. That's why a group of dedicated scientists are working as fast as they can to understand the dangers these space rocks pose, to track any that might be on a collision course with Earth, and to create a way to stop them before it's too late. The quest begins with the search for pieces of asteroids that land on the ground, called meteorites, which can tell us more about these strange and potentially dangerous space rocks. The birth of the solar system and the asteroid belt. Roughly 4.6 billion years ago, when the solar system was beginning,